friends, I hope everybody is well today, and today we are gonna do a very loose wildflower watercolor tutorial. I am going to use my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor, and I am using this New York Central Arctic's Art Supply 100% cotton watercolor black. It works really well. And we are going to begin by using a Princeton Heritage size 12 round. And I'm going to take some of my cerulean blue. I need to wet it. I didn't spray down my paints, which actually I should do. I'm finding that it's really important to spray down your watercolor, especially if you're using the Winsor & Newton Cotman or professional line. I find that it really makes a difference. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. So hopefully everything's within range, but we're gonna take, like I said, we're gonna take some of this cerulean blue. Sorry, my nails, if they look awful, it's been because it is plant seasoning here in Ohio. And I'm having a plant sale in a week. So I do starts from seed and my little babies. So I get pretty wrapped up in that this time of year. And I grow vegetables, and I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of ultramarine. If you don't have ultramarine, it's okay to use some cobalt blue. I don't have cobalt blue on this particular palette, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over slightly. And what I first would like to do is I got to clean my brush, which you really don't have to because we're going to go over it, but I want to see, you can see the slight blue. I want to go ahead and we're going to do wet on wet. I find I love doing skies that way. And we're going to say it's a nice summer day, barely any clouds. So wetting it. And we're going to keep everything just very loose, relaxing. Just getting inspired with spring. Okay. You can kind of see it's wet but not soaking, where it's a little shiny. Okay. So I like to begin by sweeping at the top, and I like making my corners, making sure those are normally pretty dark. And remember, as we move down, we're going to get lighter. So I'm just going to get some color on here, maybe leaving out some spots for some clouds. But I don't want a lot of clouds because it's a nice summer day. Trying to have it so. Okay, and then at this point, I'm finding my brush is running a little low, so I'm going to dab it once in the water. And then I'm going to go back because I just want it to flow down and get it somewhat close to that center line. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we'll come back. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do, now that our painting is dry. By the way, can we just take a minute to see how pretty that sky looks? I love how that turned out. This watercolor paper does really nice job on what. So we're gonna go ahead and I want to make up a couple greens. The first one we're gonna go ahead and make up is using cadmium yellow and ultramarine blue, and I like that. It makes a really pretty green. And then I think we're gonna go ahead and I want to make a little bit darker, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it where this cerulean and blue, and we're gonna go ahead and take some more of our cad yellow and rinse in our brush. I don't want to contaminate the yellow too bad. I'm trying to use up this paint because I want to go to a bigger palette. Same style, but I want to I have a whole bunch of paints, but I'm trying, since this is a beginning loose flowers, I want to just stick with paints that I'm figuring that a lot of people might have. If I have this, or honestly I would be probably using the Van Gogh, but I can get the Cotman paint locally a lot easier than what I can the Van Gogh. I can just go a half hour and just pick up a tube of what I need. So that was a little bit of the deciding factor on that. Okay, so I like this color. I think we're gonna go ahead and stick with that. You can pick whatever shades you want, because like I said, this is gonna be loose. So right now we're just using a watered down mix. I'm actually gonna do what I want again, I believe. So we're just gonna go ahead and go. It does not have to be perfect. I drew a line because I knew that I'm gonna be going over it, but I wanted to have somewhat of an idea. So I'm just using kind of wet on wet technique, and I had some of that color, so it spread nicely, which is good. It's kind of what I wanted. And this is on a block, so I didn't have it taped down. And I am gonna eventually have the Ko-fi, or Ko-fi, however you say it, and I'm gonna go ahead and take it across. But I haven't got it set up yet, so one of these days I need to take the time to do it. Anyhow, that I figured for some of the Ko-fi or Patreon, what I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but it's either gonna be, it'll be one or the other, that I want to be able to send out either prints or the originals. So I figured, and let's take a minute, you guys, to one, for me to finish my thought, which I figured it will help me to keep the paint flowing for those who might want to do that. But as like the bonuses and stuff that come with it, I thought this way I can send them out. But the reason why I used the ultramarine and then like with the cerulean, I wanted this granulation. It is so pretty. I don't know how much is gonna be able to be seen once we're done with the wildflowers, but for a minute, can we appreciate how pretty that is? So now we're going to go ahead and let this dry. I'm going to go on and do other things that I need to get done, and we'll come back and we'll start the really fun part of the wildflowers. So now what we're going to do is I want to start with some of our flowers. Oh, I really love how that grass looks. And I am going to go ahead and I am going to use my Princeton Velvet Touch long round size 6 brush. And I am going to begin by, I want to use some cadmium yellow. So I'm going to mix up some of that. I don't want to make it too watery. If you can see here, it's a little thicker. So go ahead, and I'm going to begin by, I want to be able to see, have you be able to see it. So I'm going to begin by too much water. But just kind of dabbing into a little circular cone pattern. For one. And then I want to go ahead and put one here, you know, a little different size, and we're just kind of dabbing, you know. Okay. And then I want to take probably a little bit of orange. So I'm using cadmium orange, but you can use whatever orange you have, or you can make your own. And once again, just kind of using a little dabbing pattern. And then probably put one here maybe. And you can decide what color flowers. And you can definitely decide on where you want them. I'm doing this. So, and then I'm going to take some purple. So mine is dioxide purple, or you can make your own. And doing the same thing. We're just kind of dab, 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 dab. To a little bit of a pattern. And then put in one right here. And if it fades, it's quite alright, because it's going to show a little bit of distance then. But the key is to kind of alternate in the colors a little bit. And I want to do another purple. Kind of dabbing it off, putting it here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and take some alizarin crimson. Oops. So, if something like that happens, and I'm dropping pencil brushes all over the place, what you can do is just kind of taking a thirsty brush, which is just a dry, damp, and then just kind of pressing, and you just got yourself another cloud. Okay, So going back to alizarin crimson, kind of dabbing it off a little bit, keeping that point. I'm going to go ahead and I want to put one here. I want to make it a little bit bigger than, okay. And then I want to put one here. Go here. Sometimes trying to decide where you want them, you know. And then I want to put one here. So dab, 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 dab. Okay. So now we got all those. I want to go ahead, and we don't really need a rinse or brush. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of our sap green, because now I want to switch up the color a little bit. So we're going to take a little bit of our sap green, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some of this alizarin crimson, and look, one of my hairs right here. If it's not a dog hair, it's one of mine. Lovely. Hang on, guys. Yep. Gotta love it. Okay. Moving on. So we got our shade here. And with that, a little bit of red color, it gives us kind of like a sagey. So then, kind of going down. That one's a little thick, so I'm going to go ahead and take the side of my napkin and just kind of dab it off. And that's okay, because it's going to have grass and stuff, but for the next one, we're just going to go ahead and dab it off. But moving on down, we want to make sure we got our stems in. Reloading the brush, dabbing off once again. Okay, so now that we got those, I want to start building upon our grasses, and then if we need more flowers we can fill in with that, but I want to start working on our grasses. So we're going to go ahead and take some of our cadmium yellow, adding it to our mix. I'm going to move this out of the way slightly while we mix. So I'm taking the yellow from over here and I'm putting it in our pile. And then I'm going to go ahead and take plenty of cadmium yellow, rinsing the brush, and then taking our ultramarine blue and we got our mix. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it back, dabbing it off, kind of twisting it, and then what we're going to do, start flicking it up. Okay, kind of flicking it up, because these are some wildflowers, and in my area when there's been wildflowers, there's a bunch of grass. And we may add some more flowers, but I want to see what we have. So kind of taking it, I'm just going to angle it a little bit so Just kind of taking it. And I think we're going to need a little bit, maybe more layers of flowers, but we'll have to see. Just trying to keep everything loose, just flicking my wrist. I know today is a rainy day in Ohio. Yesterday I went and got some flowers, which I was so excited about. I just cannot wait to sit out in plain air and paint my own flowers. So excited. How many of you guys ever do that, where you just sit out, you do all that hard work planning and digging, and went to the wrong blue? But anyway, dipping in back to that ultramarine blue, rinsing the brush, and then going into that cadmium yellow, mixing it up, adding a little bit more water, and then moving on. But how many guys enjoy a garden? I know I appreciate a good garden. So, and then what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to go ahead and I want to add a little bit of water and stuff. There. Kind of dirtying it up a little. And then sliding it up. And it's cauliflowered, but that's okay because it's going to be covered up pretty good. Leave it alone and we'll go back because we're going to put a couple layers. But I guess that's a lesson learned, guys. Make sure you don't have too much water, because when you do, that's exactly what happens when you go to flood it too much. And then just taking this and flicking it up. And then once again, we're going to have to make some more. So dipping into that cadmium yellow. And then going back to the ultramarine blue. I can kind of tell when you don't have enough. You can just tell with the color. And the colors are varying a little bit, but that's okay. Like, you're not going to get the perfect match. And that's okay, because in the wild, there is definitely no perfect matches. Okay. I'm flicking this up still. And you can see getting some more depth to it. Taking it up. And Mother's Day is coming up. So you could always do this on a card. Or you could tape it to a card and give it to your mother. That's always a possibility. Now that this is drying, we're just going to go ahead and cool it up. Okay, so while that's drying down there, I think I want to add some more flowers. So I'm going to go ahead, I think I want to take this cadmium yellow. And using it thicker. I'm going to turn this upside down because if not, my hand is going to go right into it. Okay. I'm trying to leave a little bit of white. And like I said, this is just a loose flowers, guys. It's not going to be by any means perfect. We don't want perfect. Sorry, there's a gnat. Okay. So just kind of dabbing in some flowers here. And if we need to touch anything up, we will. It's just kind of doing here and there. Because once this dries, I think we're going to splatter and all that. Okay, so let's see what we have. So we added some more flowers, which is great. And then just going ahead and splattering on some. And then we're going to go ahead and take some purple here. Trying to keep it to more of a control splatter. Kind of dabbing this off. But we'll get it, kind of make it cloudish looking there, I guess. So let me fix this so it looks more like a cloud. See, we can make it work. There we go. Little bit of a cloud, but getting some of these flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my finger and try to push down some of the bigger blobs so they kind of look more flower-ish. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my bigger size 12 and let's cover this guy. Taking some more. This is the fun part of the fun part. And then we'll take some of this ultramarine blue. Because basically we just want it to look like a whole bunch of flowers. Dabbing some more. I want big blobs. Okay. And then I think we're going to go ahead and then do some of our alizarin crimson. trying to get a nice juicy and splattering some of that. Okay, so let's see what we have. We'll go ahead and remove this. Oh yeah, it's coming along. So I just think we got enough flowers there. I think we just need to add a few more. So maybe like one there. Because I just want it to look like there's a whole bunch of flowers. No particular pattern, but add in a bit more. Kind of different colors. Well, I don't want to. One that color, one here. Okay. So then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take the sap green, taking just a pinch of that alizarin crimson, and kind of making just some lines down. Trying to go ever so thin. And it don't have to be perfect, because like I said, this is abstract and very loose. People's brains are going to know that they're flowers. So we're just kind of giving the very loose impressionation. You can kind of do some leaves-like things. Like this one here, since it's over to the side, maybe give it a slight impression. And then, because you don't want it to be like all the way clear. It just won't look right. Just kind of there. You're just wanting to give the impression. Perfect. You guys, I say we are about done. We'll go ahead and let it dry, and then we'll come back. But before we do, I just want to push down on some of these so it gives it more of a flattened flower look. Okay. So I hope everybody enjoyed, and we'll come back and take a look at the final picture. Okay, and this is our final picture, and I really like how everything looked. In hindsight though, however, I wish I wouldn't have done the additional leaf there, and I think next time that I will either mask off some or put some salt down below with the light layer of yellow to have the flowers come through better here. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed, and if you stuck around to the end, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.